If you didn't already see the gnarly pass Hunter Lawrence put on Jo Shimoda, well, here it is. Let's talk about this a little bit more. So I went over to Joe's, Instagram channel, and I wanted to see if anybody had anything to say. I hadn't seen anything from Hunter about it yet, but when I got to Joe's channel, of course, he's showing, he's got the big number two, like he's killed it this season, and his words were just "thank you, everybody." He said about the incident, it makes sense to race for a championship, but I just wasn't too happy about the fact of how fast he was coming, and there was no way to make it to the rut. So it's just a racing incident. Even Shimoda calls it just a racing incident. At the end of the day, these guys are racing for big money. I completely understand. Joe wasn't too badly hurt. Like he said, his shoulder was a little dinged up. For the most part, that boy came out, put the heat on the track, and did exactly what he needed to do. Not bump bars with another boy just to prove a point, but to actually lead about 30 seconds ahead to show him like, yo, you done woke the beast up. Here we go. Here we go. So this kid left the entire pack behind now. Anybody can argue that maybe Jet would just gave up. Jet normally does that if he feels like the gap's too much. He don't want to put too much energy in. Jet already knew he had the overall. He didn't have a lot to worry about at the end of the day as far as positioning went. But Jo Shimoda did a standout thing just by getting in the lead, making the passes, and just leaving the pack. And it was probably the best way to say, hey, I'm here. I'm here to stay. So I can't wait to see what Jo Shimoda does in the next season. For real. When we were watching this live, this incident right here, I didn't know. I felt like Hunter came through. Now look, at the end of the day, I still feel like Hunter came through and said, I want second place. I want that money. I want those points. Me and my bro gonna go 1-1. That's the end of the day. So if I gotta bump a little boy out the way, I'm gonna do it. And I mean, he went straight down under and bopped him right out that line. Now, it's controversial in my opinion. It's a racing incident, but there's a lot of people out there that think he could have done it a different way. Of course, he could have done it a different way, but would that have got him a second place at the end of the day? That's what I wanted to talk about. So we already know Jo Shimoda and the Lawrence brothers are pretty decent friends out of motocross. They play video games together, they kind of hang out together and things of that nature. But I've always known as a racer, when the gate drops, you got to leave your friendships behind the gate, because as soon as that gate drops, it's time to go to work. It's time to do your thing. You're not out there to let your buddies win. You're not out there to let your friends beat you. You're out there to prove a point that you're the fastest kid on the track. So clearly, you can see that Jet and Hunter and Shimoda are top of the class right now. I mean, honestly, you've seen it way too many times before. Jet, Hunter, Shimoda are killing it. Justin Cooper's back there hanging out. He'll show up when he wants to show up. But for the most part, those three kids are the ones that are out there doing the mad work. And it was some really good racing. It was some really good racing between Jo Shimoda and Hunter. I felt like Joe was faster than Jet, but Joe just couldn't find a good enough line to get by Jet. So maybe Jet was holding him up the whole time. Maybe Jet was holding him up for the simple fact that he wanted Hunter to be able to catch up and Hunter to win the race, and maybe Hunter could have taken the points away from Jo Shimoda and had the overall in the day and ended up second, in the championship. It could have been something as simple as that. But, just to see Joe fighting for that first place and then trying to defend as strong as he could in the second place. I mean, it was really good racing in the 250 class. Probably some of the best that I've seen this season in that class. The Premier class has been amazing all season long. The Premier class has been phenomenal. What we haven't seen is a lot of great racing in the 250 class. And not to say that there hadn't been some good battles here and there, but I mean, we were on the edge of our seats to see Tomac and Chase Sexton go at it. What a flop on the second moto. Anyway, back to what's important. Jo Shimoda coming out there and doing what I think made the most sense, okay? He didn't look for an opportunity to say, hey, Hunter, I'm going to get you back. He didn't look for an opportunity to say, I want to race that way again. Jo Shimoda got a great start. He was in the lead, or not in the lead. He had to make a pass or two, but once he got in the lead, he did exactly, he kept the hammer, man. He put the hammer down. He maintained it. He didn't relax. He pushed as hard as he could for that whole 25-minute, two-lap race. And I gained a lot of respect for Shimoda throughout this season anyway, because him and Nick Way have been working really close together, and every single step, he's just been smarter, he's been riding faster, he's been more capable, and it gets really exciting to see him do what he's doing. Now, I also have a little clip from where he, at the end of the race, he talks about it just a little bit, so let's check that out real quick.
I was actually a little concerned if you were going to be able to ride that second moto. You looked a little dinged up at the end of the first one, but I was way wrong because you absolutely checked out on that second moto.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the pass. I don't think it's called a clean pass, but just enough to put me over the berm and hurt my shoulder a little bit. But that kind of made me pissed off a little bit, So second moto, I just get a start and charge to the end and won it with a pretty big gap. So pretty pumped about that. And I just want to say.
So even Jo Shimoda was like, it wasn't clean. I didn't like it, but I got a little pissed off, put the hammer down, I did the work, and there we go. He's up there, he's feeling good, he's pumped, proud of the kid. The kid did, he did his thing. Like I said, a lot of growth happened for him over the last 2 years, and to see him where he's at right now, high hopes for his next season. He might get in the Supercross season and kill it. He might not. I don't know if he's as strong in Supercross as he is in outdoors, but it doesn't matter. The kid's on the right track. He's gonna get there. He's gonna do his thing. But guys, absolutely love what Shimoda's doing, what Nick Way's doing, the efforts that they're put in. They're riding to the very end. We've got more content on the channel around this stuff, guys. Feel free to go check all that out. We talked about the disqualification of Barsha. You can check that one out if you want to. But we're gonna have more, and I hope it's more about Jo Shimoda. To be honest with you, Joe is a beast. But yeah, let's see what we got here.